Hi everyone, in this video I'll be going through the top 5 tips that will help you improve your last layer. Number 1. Two-sided OLO and PLL recognition. So starting with the OLO cases, you should be able to recognize all OLO cases by looking at the top pattern and 2 of the sides. For this example, recognizing the top pattern, we can tell that this is an awkward shapes case. Following that, looking at the 2 sides, especially on the right side here, we notice that there's only one yellow sticker in the middle, which means that this is the case where there's headlights at the back. For PLL, most people should be able to recognize all PLL cases from at most 3 sides. So in this case, we have opposite color in between the headlights, 2x1 bar here, it's definitely one of the G perms. But more advanced solvers might be able to recognize the checkerboard pattern, blue, blue, and then green over here, interrupted by 2 colors. Those of you who are able to recognize that should be able to tell that there is a 2x1 bar in this position without even looking. So two-sided PLL recognition is definitely a very advanced concept, and I've actually made a dedicated video going through how to recognize all PLL cases from 2 sides. So I'll link this video in the description if you're interested. Number 2, use optimal finger tricks to reduce regrips. So it's really important that you use optimal finger tricks during your last layer algorithms. So I'll use this OLO case as an example. Most people do this algorithm, which starts off with an R, U2, R prime. And here you have to do a sledgehammer. So a lot of people, they regrip for the sledgehammer because it's slightly more comfortable. And then they have to regrip again after the sledgehammer to finish off the algorithm. And as you can imagine, having 2 regrips within an algorithm is definitely not the most efficient thing to do. So you notice that the reason I regrip was because of the sledgehammer. Instead, I can do a sledgehammer a slightly different way using my right hand, like this. And that way, I can do the entire algorithm reducing both of those regrips. So same thing for your PLL algorithms. So here we have a J perm, and a lot of people, they regrip their right hand to start the J perm. And here they usually regrip their right hand again to finish off the J perm. And of course, as I mentioned, having these regrips in your algorithm is definitely going to slow it down. So I recommend experimenting with different types of finger tricks, such as this move here with your thumb. That way you can do the entire algorithm with no regrips. And if you're curious about the finger tricks I use for my PLL algorithms, I'll link this video in the description below where I go through the finger tricks I use for all my PLL algorithms. Number 3, recognize AUF before doing PLL. Recognizing AUF during PLL recognition is actually a very straightforward thing to do, but a lot of cubers neglect it. So here I'll go through a quick example. So I recognize that this is a G perm. For G perms, the algorithm that I do are the RUD algorithms, and with these algorithms, the AUF is recognized by these headlights. So blue headlights on a blue side means that after I do this algorithm, there's no AUF. So here's another example. Here I've got an A perm, and if you're wondering how I recognize that this is an A perm, notice that the color in between the headlights is adjacent to the headlights. So instead of a G perm, which it kind of looks like, it's actually an A perm. So with A perms, you have to remember that you don't recognize AUF from the headlights, you actually recognize it from the 2x2 block here. Because we have green on the front and green belongs over here, we notice that we have to do a U prime after the algorithm. So it's really important that you recognize this before you do the algorithm, so that once you've done the algorithm, you don't need to pause and recognize it again. So if you're interested in how to recognize AUF for every single PLL case, then I've already got a video of that on my channel. So I'll link this video in the description as well. So if you're interested in how to recognize AUF for all PLL cases, then definitely check this video out. Number 4, learn more algorithms. So I know this is a tip that you might not have wanted to hear, but to be completely honest, learning more algorithms does help improve your last layer. So I often get asked when you should start learning different algorithm sets. In my opinion, you should learn 2-look OLO and 2-look PLL as soon as you want. There's only 16 algorithms in both of those algorithm sets, and they're fairly simple algorithms to learn as well, and it's a good introduction into Rubik's Cube algorithms. After that, you should learn full PLL as soon as you're comfortable using the 2-look PLL algorithms. I also recommend learning PLL fairly early because I feel like PLL can definitely help you a lot in terms of decreasing your times. I usually don't recommend learning OLO until you average close to about 20 seconds. I think the earliest you should start learning full OLO is once you average about 25 seconds. Before you average about that time, you should actually focus a lot more on cross and F2O, because chances are those will be your lacking areas. And the final algorithm set that I actually recommend learning is COLO. So if you don't know what COLO is, I'll give you a quick example here. So for these cases where we have all the edges oriented, we can actually solve this OLO case and all the corners by doing a slightly different algorithm to the usual one. So just as an example, for this OLO case, if I were to do the regular algorithm, you'll notice that the corners remain unsolved. Whereas for that same case, if I were to do a slightly different algorithm, I would actually be able to solve OLO and solve all the corners as well, leaving me with only EPLOs. And the good thing about that is that EPLOs are usually a lot faster to do and to recognize compared to regular PLOs. That being said, COLO is definitely an optional algorithm set, as in you don't need to learn it to get fast, and I definitely wouldn't recommend learning it until you're averaging close to about 15 seconds. COLO also introduces you to corner permutation recognition, which is also an advanced concept but very useful even if you're just doing regular OLO algorithms. And finally, if you want to learn some easy COLO algorithms, I've got a video on that as well. Once again, I'll link that in the video description so you can check that out if you want. And last but not least, influencing OLO using last slot. So the whole idea of this last tip is to pair up or insert your last F2O pair in a way that benefits your OLO. For example, this F2O pair is usually a pretty common case, but here a lot of people would just insert regularly and get this dot case. So especially if you don't know full OLO, and even if you do know full OLO, dot cases are usually pretty bad cases. So instead of inserting the regular way, another way I could solve this case and get a better OLO is if I were to insert with a sledgehammer. A sledgehammer always orients two edges, and usually it means that you get a better OLO case compared to a dot case. Another algorithm set that falls under this category is winter variation. So winter variation works when you have an already attached F2O case that you're about to insert. So instead of inserting the regular way and getting whatever OLO you get, winter variation is an algorithm set that solves OLO while you insert this last F2O pair. So this is a very easy case. It's when you have all of your top colors oriented except for this corner here, and this yellow corner and this white corner here kind of form opposite colored headlights here. So in this case, instead of just inserting the regular way, you can actually do this move here, which is just the sexy move, and then insert, and that way you can actually skip OLO while you insert this F2O pair. So as always, if you're interested in winter variation cases, I've got a video here that goes through the easiest winter variation cases. So feel free to check that video out as well. Once again, I'll link it in the description. So that's it for my top 5 tips to help you guys improve your last layer. I hope you guys found this video helpful. Like the video if you learned something new. Please subscribe if you want to see more similar videos. If you have any questions about anything in this video, feel free to leave a question in the comment section down below. You can also message me on social media. Links to those will also be in the video description. Thank you guys very much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.